it is the interaction. We are taking up The Landscape of Soul by Nathalie Trouveroy and making an attempt to understand the basis of Chinese paintings, which represent inner soul, and the Chinese painters want an active participation, a spiritual, mental, not only physical. And all Chinese paintings are based on Taoism, and Taoism is a view of the universe, is one view of universe, is one view of looking at universe. So Taoism advocates that there are two complementary poles which complete each other. Now, the meeting point of these two poles, one is mountain, the other one is water. At this meeting point, there is a huge gap, a void. And it is in this void that interaction takes place, resulting in the universe as we see about ourselves. So, and all Chinese paintings are a representative of Taoism. And the void that is there in the middle happens to be the interaction point of the two. And these two complementary poles, they create universe as we see. So mountains rise up and water lies low. And man is the medium of communication between these two poles. So the unpainted portion in any Chinese painting represents that void. I repeat, the unpainted portion in the Chinese paintings represent that void. So it is by way of his creations that a Chinese painter takes us inside his soul. And this is in diametric contrast, or diametrically opposite to what the European painters attempt to do. And all this has been explained by the help of three anecdotes. Now, if you read the lesson, the first story about Wu Daozi talking to the emperor, who happened to be his patron, showed him his painting. The emperor admired the landscape, the mountains, the trees, the birds, the rivulets. He only admired it physically. However, if you read the first story, the attempt of the painter is to seek a spiritual and inner participation. The painter actually wants the emperor to enter his painting. So the first anecdote talks about how the Chinese painters, they want an active participation of their admirers. Same is the case with the second story, wherein a certain Chinese painter refrained from drawing the eye of a dragon, lest the dragon must fly away. So that also involves physical and emotional participation in a Chinese creation. Compare to this the anecdote by a European painter, Quentin Metzes, who, you can read the story in the text, who by way of his ability painted a fly, and so realistic did it appear that the painter whom he wanted to impress was impressed. The master, in fact, this painter whom he wanted to impress, in fact wanted to swat the fly, because the painter Quentin Metzes had created that created that fly in its exactitude as it actually appears. So we see this difference, wherein the European painters want to bring a realistic illusionism in their paintings, which is called realism. Now, all these stories, such stories in fact, are famous in both the European and the Chinese context.